Mm. Welcome to Wise Women Wednesday for Brava Women Networking. Today we've got the wonderful Jenny Leather from Soul Insight. She's the creator of Soul Quest. She's a featured author in 3 bestsellers. Her passion in supporting individuals to thrive beyond their dark night of their soul, learn to know, love and value themselves by reconnecting to the wisdom within. Healing starts at the heart level. Over to you, Jenny.
Thank you, dear. Thank you for having me here, and welcome to those who are here live and who may watch this later on. Navigating the dark night of the soul is such an interesting journey. It can be extremely uncomfortable, but ultimately, for me personally, it had me remember who I be, value myself. So the journey of getting to know myself again from a different view, from the view of the soul's journey compared to that just of the mind, has taken quite a few years, but I'm really excited to be living a very different reality now than 10 years ago. So I'll just go back to there for a minute. Is I remember the door slamming and me handing the key over to the real estate agent. The bank had taken our home back. So after the GFC, we were building 141 apartments. We had 4 companies. The financial world went into meltdown and the finance was pulled. So we were $5 million into the ground with a $33 million loan, and to put it faintly, shit hit the fan. So we lost the businesses, lost the home. But the interesting thing is, when I hopped in my car after giving the key, I actually didn't cry. I was actually feeling this incredible relief that a new journey was opening for me. And so we're very blessed, had beautiful homes, traveled the world, 3 lovely kids. I've been married to the man of my dreams for now 40 years. And so things were going great. And then there was a period where it all went pear-shaped. And I know in my heart it was a journey of the soul, remembering who it be, remembering the purpose of being here. So I've actually prepared a couple of charts because my passion is about bringing more joy and happiness into our life. And when we know who we are and we can trust ourselves and value ourselves, then life plays very, very differently. And so I'm an energy healer, clairaudient, coach, mentor, all those sort of things bundled up in a package. And I love to teach about how to get beyond your own blockages and your own challenges so you can have more joy and happiness. And behind us here, I've got healing from within. And in one breath, we say we want to heal, but really there's something wrong. We're more remembering who we be. And so I've actually prepared a chart here just so that I can talk to it. I love to teach. And it will give context of the sort of work that I do. So I'm assuming many of you have heard of chakras, and you've normally seen them in a picture where they run from the base up through the crown, connecting to the higher realms, connecting into Mother Earth. This chart is showing those energy centers spread across the page. And the base 3 are more about your physical journey. And as many of you may know, in the physical experience, there's always two options, duality, good, bad, black, white. There's always choice. And that was actually, I'd say one of God's greatest gifts was to give us freedom of choice so that we could learn, grow and evolve. So in these bottom energy centers, we've got patterns that we've actually brought in from previous lifetimes, if that's something you're comfortable with, or you can think of it as being down a genetic line. We've brought in certain patterns from our history, and we're giving the opportunity at this changing time to change what I call an imprint. You'll hear many, many people say, oh, I'm doing that all over again. I'm going over and over it again, over and over it again. It's like we've got this imprint in that we keep responding the same way. If we just knew that changing the way we respond instead of reacting, and then we're moving into the next phase, we change it 1%, that imprint changes, and down the track we end up at a totally different space. So we're continually getting opportunities to change and evolve and have life serve us. At this level, we think of time as being linear. We think of it as being past, present in the now, and future. But as we awaken to new ways of viewing the world, time can appear a little bit differently. And so if you're coming from your center, from what I call potential FM, connection to the wisdom of your soul and the higher realms, time is in the now. But sometimes that kind of comes in a bit too fast and people aren't comfortable with it. So we move them back into this realm where time is like a spiral. It is in the now, but it's continually offering us opportunities to change those imprinted ways of responding. And just remember, we change 1%, and a few months down the track, we end up at a totally different reality. And you can be consciously creating the outcomes that you desire. And that can be done relatively easy. Once you know that you have the handles on the driver's seat of your life, you can choose to do a couple of little things that help you navigate challenging times. And one of them that I think it was Mel Robertson who wrote a book about the 5-second, or the counting backwards from 5. And it's brilliant. It just buys you enough time, counting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're taking breaths every time, letting go of whatever's going on. How do we want this situation to go? And is what I'm going to say fuel the fire, or is it actually going to support the outcome that I desire? Am I responding out of the energy of fear compared to responding out of the energy of love of another who may not know how to behave any differently? So they're just little shifts that we are supported to take with ease and grace. So we have a physical journey, then we have an emotional response to what's happening. And much of that is just a memory game. We automatically react out of the subconscious. So if we could stop, and if we could quieten the mind down and center ourselves just with some beautiful breath work and connect to that potential FM, then the choices we make moving forward would probably be very, very different. But what I'm hearing from a lot of people who so-called start to meditate or start to sit in silence is that they can't quieten the mind. Like they'll say, oh, Jenny, it just prattles and prattles. So there's a couple of little techniques that have supported me moving forward, and I'm forever downloading new information of how to heal the wounded ego or the wounded self with ease and grace, because truly we all have the capability to heal anything that's held within. So one of them, and if you're listening and you're actually one who has a lot of trouble with quietening the mind, imagine that there's something happening in this 1, 2, 3 area of your life that's having you feel extremely uncomfortable, but you would like to access some inner wisdom. So just taking a couple of really nice deep breaths. Instead of thinking about the problem, I'm usually suggesting that as we go into this quiet, we choose to listen to the silence, or choose to consciously listen to the chatter or to any noise around. And just kind of giving a little tip to help you understand, when we're listening, the mind's also starting to go quiet. So we're taking nice deep breaths into a heart space. I'm breathing in love, and I'm breathing love out to the part of me at this moment of time that's challenged. And if that chatter's going crazy, we just know that we're looping here in the shoulds, must, have to, the righteousness of what's right and wrong. We're just going to choose to let that be. And I kind of visualize that area of my life being like a carousel going around and around, and I'm sitting on the horse going around and around doing the same thing over and over again. But with the breath work, We're just taking a couple of nice deep breaths and slowing down the carousel, seeing the carousel get slower. And with the breath work, at one point we can actually step off, and we're stepping off into the next component and looking at the carousel, but still just breathing nice and slowly, just looking at the carousel and seeing it slow down and seeing it getting smaller and smaller. Because as we move away to the next level, we actually see a beautiful opening door, and it might have beautiful crystals and healing modalities and things on it, and we can choose to walk through the door. And as we look back at the carousel, it's only a speck, it's only a dot. And we walk into this beautiful space of connection to potential FM with our question, with our intention, and open to receiving the answer. It's just amazing. Within seconds, you may get an idea, go to Google and check out this, or go ring somebody, or you just might have a calmness come over you and you walk away, and within the next half an hour, something amazing happens to support the outcome that you desire. But that's just sort of one little way. And another one would be when you're sitting in a beautiful meditative state, and again, this chatter keeps coming in. And I'm probably focusing on this because it was one of my bigger challenges. And one of my own teachers said to me, Jen, where's the chatter coming from? And, what do you mean? And I could actually visualize that it was coming into the left side of my head. It literally was flowing into me from the left side. And she just said, just create a beautiful door, or create a window. So I created this beautiful door that had on these ornate crystals and that. And I consciously closed the door, knowing that at the end of this relaxation period and the connection to that which I was asking for guidance, I could open the door again. But just in closing the door, and some people have had the door behind their head, they've had it in front of them, wherever the door is for you, just close the door. Thank you for sharing. Sometimes it sounds like you've got an inner boarder that's not paying rent, and just pop them in another space while you connect to this amazing inner wisdom. And just breathing and letting it go. And we don't need to spend hours in meditation. I'm happy if I do 5 or 10 minutes. I do work every single morning just to start my day in a beautiful way. And I avoid things that are going to pull me down. And over those challenging few years, the TV was not really my friend, because I got hooked into what was happening, yet I was wanting to choose to live here. And I've written, the 3D reality is very dense and heavy. And if anyone's on their own awakening spiritual journey, they know the shifts that are occurring at a much higher realm. And we're moving to a totally different reality. And in losing our own home, it actually forced me to move into this different reality. And in being totally transparent and open, I don't have a business the way that many people do. I don't have an ABN. I live in a total different reality. For me, COVID didn't exist. In this reality, it was not present. And so I just navigated it through such great ease. Living on 100 acres in country Victoria, it obviously was a lot easier. But it was also when I was choosing to live this way and not play an old game, in the old banking system that's collapsing, and that I chose to move to a different way of being so that I could be in integrity with the knowledge and the information we were bringing in. So I could actually be part of creation of the new earth that we're all moving towards. I know that my job here on earth is to support people's consciousness to raise, which means raising your vibration so that you can hold a different reality. And it's such an exciting...
Sorry, Jenny, 1 minute? Yeah.
1 minute? Yeah. So if this speaks to you and you'd like to have a bit of a discussion, I'll end up putting a link on the Facebook page with a phone call where we can just have a bit of a chat and see whether I do things like Soul Quest, where we study a book and we actually go over it 3 months and live the book, actually pull out the knowledge and the wisdom and see how it affects our day-to-day life. And we meet every fortnight on a Saturday morning. So we'll be starting again. The next phase will be in May. And I do a lot of one-on-one sessions and supporting people to heal both physically, emotionally, spiritually. And come join if this is something that actually speaks to you. Thanks for having me, and I love sharing this wisdom so that we can all heal from within.